Today's a special day because we've got Kelvin Cheung all the way from Dubai. Your restaurant, Jun's, fantastic. What are you going to be cooking for us today?
So we're going to cook my mom's Sunday chicken curry.
Oh, sounds delicious. And is this something that you can find at the restaurant, or is it something you love to cook for the chefs?
We do it for the team.
Yes.
It's kind of one of our go-to kind of family meals that everybody loves. It's delicious, it's tasty, and it's very, very delicious.
Anyone says chicken curry to me, I am there. And we're going to start with the curry paste.
Of course.
Okay.
So first off, right away off the bat, we're going to toss in our base, just a touch of oil.
Yeah.
We're going to sweat out our onions. If you want to give us a quick chop for our other ingredients.
Okay, we've got some coriander stalk.
Yes, so we like to have zero waste in the restaurant.
Yep.
So we'll use the stalks for the paste, and then we'll do the garnish with the rest of the leaves.
Okay, I'll get on to chopping that.
Thank you. And while our onions are sweating, I'm just gonna give our garlic a quick slice. Generally for these type of sauces, I avoid using too much minced garlic. It tends to burn quite a bit, and you don't want that burnt garlic taste.
Yep. So what we're doing here for the curry paste, instead of blending it all first, you're going to cook it down and then blend it.
Yeah, I find that a little bit easier, especially even for home. Whenever we use this kind of sauces, we make quite a big batch so that we can just pop in the freezer.
Oh, fantastic.
And whenever you're in the mood for a bit of curry, just defrost an ice cube and throw it in.
Oh, what a great idea. So tell me a little bit about Jun's. What's the style of cuisine?
So I always describe our restaurant as a third culture restaurant, meaning it's things that I did at my father's restaurants growing up as a kid, things that I ate and loved. In the, you get all the ethnic cuisines in Canada, and I like to blend those flavors together. So we don't essentially put ourselves in a box. I never describe the restaurant as a Chinese or Japanese or Thai, but we capture that essence.
And Kelvin, your resume is quite long. You've worked around the world, I mean, a lot of places.
Yeah, it's taken me a long journey across the globe. Ran away from North America when I was a kid.
Yep.
Worked my way to Europe, spent a couple years in Belgium, back to the US, back to Canada. We spent quite a bit of time in India, and now we're in Dubai.
Wow, well, maybe your next restaurant has to be in Australia.
I would absolutely love that. We're actually working on our next project now, which we'll announce soon, but coming up soon.
Oh, so you can't tell us where the next Jun's is going to be?
Not yet, not yet. So right now, we're just sweating the onions and garlic.
Yep.
We're gonna toss in our chilies now. And please feel free to adjust this part. However spicy that your family likes it, please add or remove some of the chilies. And we really wanna sweat that out properly to build those flavors.
Yep.
And once these are sweated out properly, we're gonna add in our ginger as well as our chili powder and cook that out. And then everything that you've chopped so nicely for us, we're gonna cook that down and our paste would be ready.
Oh, it already smells fantastic, and we've only added half of the ingredients.
So now that everything has sweated nicely, I'm gonna add my chili powder in, and we're gonna try to cook that out so you don't get that raw flavor.
So is this gonna be quite a spicy curry?
Generally, it has quite a bit of spice, but then at the end, we're gonna finish it with some delicious coconut milk, which will lighten it up and give it a nice sweetness to it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so now that our chili powder is cooked out, please toss in the rest of the ingredients, which will add a little bit of moisture to prevent it from sticking and to give it a chance to kind of cook out properly.
Okay, so we've got our coriander root and some lemongrass, and then we've got our tomato and capsicum. They can go in.
Yeah, just to give it a little bit of body and a little bit of sweetness.
Lovely.
Okay, so now we're just gonna toss in our kaffir lime to give it some of that fragrant citrusy flavor. And we'll let this cook for another 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Yep.
While that's cooking, we'll marinate our chicken.
Fantastic. So let's talk chicken. We've got chicken thighs, skin on, bone in. I like your style, Kelvin.
It just tastes so much better. The chicken's juicy and it's delicious.
Yeah, it's also very forgiving. It doesn't dry out very easily.
It's a no-brainer. It's always gonna be safe and it's always gonna be tasty, right?
Very nice. So what's in the marinade?
Okay, so first we're going to grab our coriander powder. A bit of turmeric for some color. Then we have some cumin and a bit more chili powder.
Ooh, it's gonna be spicy.
So we'll just give this a little bit of a mix.
I've got a spoon here for you.
Please. Okay, and while you're mixing that, I'm gonna drop a splash of oil onto our chicken so that the spices stick to it.
Okay.
Generally for something like this, if you can, just do it a couple hours ahead or overnight.
And that goes straight over?
Straight onto it and mix it up.
Any salt at all?
So this is when you're gonna add some salt, a bit of pepper as well.
All right, well, I'll give this a good mix. We'll allow it to marinate. And while that's happening, we can blend our gorgeous curry paste.
Perfect. All right, now that we've seared up our chicken, we're gonna build our foundation for the curry.
Okay.
Okay, so straight off the bat, we're gonna take a bit of coconut oil, if you can hand me a spoon.
Spoon for you,
Okay.
sir.
And then we're going to build that flavor again. So the beauty of this recipe is that because we've made that curry paste ahead of time, we just add a bit of fresh ingredients and the curry tastes amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna add our chopped garlic. Then we add our minced ginger, some minced onion.
That's the thing when it comes to curry, when you say building flavours, it's not just a curry paste, in it goes. To make it as fragrant as possible, you need all of these little elements to slowly cook together to really get that gorgeous aromatic flavour.
That's a great tip because you want those flavors and you want that complexity and you want that freshness and vibrancy from all the spices and all the aromats.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've sweat out our base, we're gonna add some of that lovely curry paste that we made earlier.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. You just need to add a touch and the rest just lay into an ice cube tray, pop in the freezer. You can have curry anytime.
And freezing your homemade curry paste is just such a delight.
And it's fresh and it's tasty and you know exactly what's in it.
Yep.
Okay,
Fantastic.
so now that we've cooked that out, we're going to add all our coconut water. Not only does it give it freshness, but you get underlying sweetness to balance out that spice.
Great.
Okay, now we can throw in the rest of our vegetables.
All right, so vegetables, we've got some more capsicum, or as you like to call them, peppers. And you've got some carrots.
Yes. So again, we're laying some sweetness to balance out that spice.
Potatoes, lots of potatoes. Look at this gorgeous yellow flesh potato. They're going to hold their shape
And
in a
it's
curry.
beautiful. It's my favorite part of curries because potatoes soak up that curry flavor and they're the tastiest bits to the curry.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, and now that our vegetables are in, we're just gonna put our chicken on top.
Okay, chicken on top. I love this because it's a generous portion.
Yeah.
Feed many of us here.
It's so much easier just to cook for the whole family in one shot.
Yep.
You got one pan, there's no fuss, no cleaning.
Well, you could make this the day ahead and it'll taste even better because all those flavours would just mingle even more.
Past the chicken stock.
Chicken
We're just gonna top it off with that and we're gonna let it simmer.
Okay, so the lid goes on when we're simmering.
Yes.
Yep, and how long roughly do you think this will take to cook?
So I usually like to cook this for at least an hour or two, just until the vegetables are just starting to fall apart. And you want that sauce to reduce so it intensify that flavor of that curry.
Okay, fantastic. And keep going, a bit more stock.
I think it's great.
All right.
Yeah, just enough to cover. So we're just gonna toss in some freshly grated coconut to get more of that lovely coconut flavor. We'll pop the lid on and just let it simmer away for about an hour, hour and a half.
It's gonna be good. Oh, now it's time to have a look at this gorgeous curry. Oh, I love it.
The sauce has had time to condense and reduce. So now we're ready to finish our sauce.
All right.
Okay, so here we have a bit of coconut milk powder.
I never use coconut powder, but
It's a great product.
Yeah, particularly if you've got quite a significant amount of sauce, you want to add it to the last minute. This does a great job.
Okay, we're just gonna mix it in and you'll see it get nice and creamy.
Yeah, it does,
Chicken is
doesn't it?
falling off the bone. A splash of fish sauce.
How come you add your fish sauce at the end?
Fish sauce, one, as you're reducing the sauces, you don't want it to become too salty. So it's much easier to adjust at the end.
Great tip.
Okay, just another splash of soy sauce. And we're ready to plate.
All right, now we've got some coriander here too and some gorgeous lime.
Yeah, so if I'm plating, if you want to give the coriander just a rough tear,
Can do.
I'm gonna ladle some of that lovely sauce on the chicken. And we are ready to serve.
Gee, I would love to be working at your restaurant or getting served this for staff lunches.
It's kind of one of the things that I learned from my father's restaurants very early on.
Yep.
I find that family meal is the most important time of the day. So we are very, very particular with what is served during family meal.
Yeah, all the chefs that come on this show really say how important family meal or staff meal is because it's an opportunity for everyone just to get together and just relax together and the camaraderie comes together before the action happens at the restaurant.
It's one of the neglected things, I feel.
Coriander, just rip it straight over the top.
Nice little, yeah.
Over the top.
Okay.
Sprinkle it over.
That looks beautiful. And then we just want a touch of acidity to balance it out. Always some fresh lime juice to go on top.
Oh, fantastic. This is a standout dish. And don't forget, when you're making a recipe like this, use chicken thigh, bone in, skin on, because it's just going to taste better. Thank you.